Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series season finale. This is the Below the Double Yellow fight for the championship, live tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway, here for 135 laps, just over 200 miles, and 4 drivers in contention to win this year's championship. And let's take a look at those 4 drivers as they enter into tonight's race. Josiah Vincent, Jeremiah Vincent, Nick Starling, and AJ Stravato, all contenders here tonight to win the championship. Highest finisher will take home the Season 2 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series championship. And a lot of heavy hitters in this season finale. We'll tell you more about them as they get into their qualifying session here shortly, as we are wrapping up the practice session. It has been a fantastic year, lots of great racing action all season long. Let's see who is the first to get on the racetrack. Looks like Nick Starling getting onto the racetrack. Let's take a look at Nick here. 2 wins this season. Pretty successful year that did not start all that well for Nick, but as playoff time came around, he started to pick up the pace, grabbed a few top 5s and some top 10s. He had the victory at Talladega earlier this year, and then he won at Kansas, locking him into the battle here tonight. Yeah, 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s in the first 19 races this season, and earned his way into the finale with the win at Kansas. We'll see how Nick does here tonight. Definitely an underdog among the 4 finale drivers, but he has performed pretty well at some of these mile-and-a-halfs. Kansas being a kind of similar, driving racetrack, even though the shape of the track is pretty different. We'll see what Nick can do in tonight's races. He gets a little bit loose out of turn number 4 there on his qualifying lap. Josiah Vincent enters into the finale here as really on a hot streak all season long. Josiah has been a contender. 2 wins. He won last week to lock his way in, but he would have been in on points if he had just gotten a top 5 regardless. The 2 wins, 11 top 5s, and 18 top 10s. Absolutely so consistent. And there were often times that he would get involved in something and still somehow end up there 6th, 7th position. And a very strong performer all season long. We'll see what he can do here tonight, as we do have times coming in. Let's take a look at the ticker here, see where these guys line up. Jeremiah Vincent on the racetrack now, the number 9 machine. Jeremiah, no wins this year, but he has been runner-up multiple times. 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s. So definitely strong performance throughout the year. And then AJ Stravato, the last one we're going to mention here. He is the favorite for sure. 8 wins this year, plus the All-Star race. 14 top 5s and 14 top 10s. So every time he finished in the top 10, it was a top 5, and often it was on the podium. Tons of momentum, tons of playoff points throughout the playoffs here this season, and that helped him earn his way in. But he did win at Richmond 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now, I think. And definitely a very fast race car all season long, that number 48 machine. We'll see if he can bring home the championship here tonight, which would be probably what's expected, but anything can happen, and it is just coming down to the final. It'll come down to the final laps, I'm sure, among these guys. Josiah Vincent currently fastest among the qualifiers so far. As he wraps up his session, he's in front of Seth Hatchell, who didn't quite make the cut into the Final 4. Safe Ferris, who is an early exit from the playoffs, currently 3rd fastest. Jeremiah Vincent 4th. Then it's Eric Hutton, Nick Starling, Timothy Emanuele, Cody Adkins, Mark Emerson, Brandon Vasquez, the top 10. But Stravato, let's see how he comes across the line here. He's going to jump to 2nd fastest on lap number 1. Brandon Vasquez to the top of the board in the number 19 machine. Saw he was very quick in the practice session yesterday, or the other day. and maybe just carrying over some speed from that. Thank you for the follow. Gabby loves NASCAR. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and thanks for the support here tonight. Welcome to V-Speed as the number 48 of Stravato. He runs just a little bit slower on lap number 2. He'll still be up here in the top 5 as Ryan Gemmel jumps to 5th. Eric Gallion moves to 2nd. Another good qualifying time from the 33, who has run pretty well here over the last couple of weeks. But Ryan Gemmel, he wraps up his session. Let's see who else is on the racetrack getting up to speed. Michael Newman, the number 12 car out here on the racetrack. And looking forward to a very exciting and entertaining race here tonight. Apologize if there's any kind of buffering or connection problems. We are experiencing, it looks like, some internet issues here right now. Hopefully it clears up here shortly. But we are going to cut to a commercial break for the moment, and we'll be right back with the starting grid. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors. Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops At your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to Drops.com. The first one's on us.
And back at the racetrack now, we are going to be headed down to the track to see our starting grid for tonight's race. Thank you so much, Tally Wicked 626 and CDP Racing for the follows. Appreciate you tuning in here tonight. And let's take a look at our starting grid. Starting on the pole in tonight's race, Brandon Vasquez, the number 19 machine. He'll get a great lap time, 30.911, and he'll take the top spot. On the field tonight, Eric Gallion going to be rolling off to his outside here on row number 1, starting in that second position. So good job there by Eric Gallion, as they are already rolling out on the racetrack. Let's go to row number 2, where we'll find a couple of championship contenders. Josiah Vincent rolling off 3rd, AJ Stravato starting in 4th. Starting 5th tonight, Ryan Gemmel. Alongside him is V-Speed teammate Seth Hatchell in the 6th position. Mark Emerson going to be starting in the 7th spot here tonight. Safe Ferris starting in 8th. Jeremiah Vincent rolling off in the 9th spot. Eric Hutton going to be starting from 10th here tonight. So Jeremiah back here a few spots behind his competitors. Nick Starling, the last of the the championship drivers, in 11th. Timothy Manueli starting 12th, 13th. Cody Adkins 14th. Alan Dice 15th. Joey Mine 16th. Lyle Sulfridge 17th, Michael Newman, 18th, Justin Carey, 19th is going to be Dennis Steele, 20th, Chris Samard, first of the cars not to take a time, Dallas Sullivan, 21st, Zach Smith, 22nd, 23rd, Lane Sulfridge, 24th, Jordan Shepler, 25th, Thomas Brendel, 26th, Kyle Payne, and that will do it. 26 drivers in tonight's field, and we want to welcome you on board for the ride. This is the championship finale for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series in 2020. Green flag in the air, and we are underway from Homestead-Miami Speedway. 135 laps to settle the score and see who becomes champion. Cheer on your favorite driver in chat. Let us know you're out there, and we will try and follow along with them throughout the race. As right now, Brandon Vasquez jumping out to a lead among the field here tonight. Rolling down the backstretch, AJ Stravato already trying to make moves. He looks to the inside of Eric Gallion. Is the 33 holding that middle lane as they work through turns 3 and 4. The 33 up high now, and he's got Seth Hatchell with some assistance behind him, as Stravato going to lose that position for the moment to Hatchell. And here comes Safe Ferris working along the outside lane as well. This updated iRacing model might help these guys trying to run the outer lane just a bit. As they work down the back stretch again, Hatchell to 3rd. Here comes Ferris trying to take that 4th spot away. He dives to the inside of Stravato, and he will take that position. Stravato back to 5th. Josiah Vincent in the 6th spot. Behind them, Eric Hutton and Ryan Gemmel, as Hutton sporting a new paint scheme, the Lawn Tech machine. and he's rolling that high groove as well, and he's bringing Jeremiah Vincent with him. Jeremiah fighting off Mark Emerson down low. Emerson not able to get the run out of turn number 2, but he actually does clear Vincent, who jumps in behind him now. And up towards the front, Seth Hatchell is moved to the 2nd position, and he is trying to chase down Brandon Vasquez. And yes, sir, Batman really flying. He's got Nos on the car, but I wonder if he has it in the car tonight. He is definitely moving. Vasquez out in front by about a quarter of a second, and Hatchell behind him. It looks like Stravato able to get back around Safe Ferris for the moment. Now Safe going to dive back low, and they keep trading these blows here in each end of the racetrack. The 44 up high, Stravato trying to clear him, working down low as they dive into the corner. Lap number 5 up on the board now, and it is still Brandon Vasquez leading the field. As they work down the backstretch, still side by side for this 4th position. It's Stravato and Ferris, and you wonder if the 48 is going to burn the tires up in battling like this, but championship is on the line, and currently he leads his contenders. As actually Josiah Vincent, who was up here, he has dropped all the way to the 11th position, and maybe trying to save his stuff a little bit here in the early going of this race. Plenty of time to make things happen. We'll see what he does here, riding right behind Jeremiah Vincent, the 9 car. And how about Nick Starling? He's passed up the Vincent brothers, up inside the top 10 right now in the 9th position. And this is the view out his windshield, and he sees a couple cars racing side by side here. That is Ryan Gemmel and Mark Emerson racing it up. And we have a battle for the lead up here. This is Brandon Vasquez on the inside, but Hatchell working to the outside. Can he clear him down the front stretch? Vasquez a good run out of the turn, and they remain side by side. Vasquez will lead that lap, but Hatchell chomping at the bit here, working that high groove, and he is making up some ground up there as he gets a good run out of turn number 2. Here comes Gallion, going to start to give him a little bit of draft, and Hatchell pulls the nose out in front of the 19 as they dive into 3 and 4, and he continues to keep that car up on the high side. And Vasquez, once again, a really good run down low, but Hatchell will beat him to the line this time. And sorry about that. We are still having some connection problems, it appears, but Hatchell is showing the way here in the final race of the season. And the battle is on now for that 3rd position, as it looks like Gallion has gotten around Vasquez. And here comes Safe Ferris to put the pressure on the 19. Stravato dropping back just a little ways into the 5th position. But once again, plenty of time. Only lap 10 right now. Here comes Hutton working the high groove, and Emerson working the middle groove. And that is something so great about the Homestead-Miami Speedway. You'll see probably all 4 of these cars run something slightly different. Yep, just a little bit different there from those. Gemmel kind of following in the footsteps of Nick Starling. He's lost a few spots here on this run, and Starling has moved up to the 8th position. Eric Hutton, who was in the hunt last week and the week before, actually, he was inside the top 4 going into Richmond, and then a poor race there, getting involved in an incident, knocked him below the cut line, and really was not able to recover from the race at Talladega. As they work down into turn number 1, it is still Seth Hatchell by a couple tenths, but Eric Gallion hot on his tail as they work out of turn number 2. Eric Gallion, he is there and putting pressure on. He's had some good races recently. And starting on the front row here, he wants a shot at leading some laps. To dive down into turn number 1. He's going to look low this time. Not going to be able to make it work. And actually, yep, there we go. He's going to drop back in line. I thought he might have been able to get a run, but still a car length behind. And behind them, Brandon Vasquez, your pole sitter. He's holding off Safe Ferris very valiantly in the early goings of this run, but lost the lead and still hanging tough up here with this group. But everybody pretty much single file now at this point. Let's take a look a little farther back. Now Gemmell's starting to put some pressure on Nick Starling. Here comes Jeremiah Vincent looking to the inside to try and take the 9th position away as they battle down the backstretch. The field flies right on by. We do have a battle even farther back. That is Cody Adkins, Joey Mine side by side. Joey's really picked it up here recently as well. Let's see if we can jump back to those two. And he is trying to make that pass on Cody Adkins, who has had some very strong runs here. Hasn't had quite the finishes I think we expected based on that speed, but looks like he also, I'm not sure if he changed the number. I don't remember exactly, but right here he's able to hold off Joey Mines and hang on to that 12th position right behind the Vincent brothers up here in 10th and 11th, and Gemmell able to hold off Jeremiah for the moment. And most cars spread out by at least a couple tenths of a second, but it looks like Mark Emerson really hot on the tail of the 77 of Eric Hutton as they work through turns 1 and 2. Let's go on board with Mark here as he is right on the back bumper. They work side by side down into turn 1. Hutton not really able to hold him off just yet as here comes the 3. He's going to pull up the racetrack and he'll take over the 6th position and try and chase down AJ Stravato up there in the top 5. Now pretty much nose to tail. Mark getting a big push from Hutton down into the corner. It's a 3 car able to separate now by a car length and a half. Here comes Nick Starling starting to put some pressure on that 77 machine. Meanwhile, at the front, still Seth Hatchell, Eric Gallion, a few car lengths separated. Vasquez starting to pick up the pace once again. He is reeled in the 33 now to just a couple car lengths. And AJ Stravato, he is sneaking up on the back bumper of Safe Ferris. So that 48 car finding some speed now as he was fastest, or one of the fastest on the track last time by. A good 10th faster than Safe Ferris this time around, about 600ths. So definitely closing in to that 4th position and well out in front of his competitors by about 2 seconds. Next one back, it's Nick Starling here behind Eric Hutton. The number 32 below the double yellow machine. Hoping for win number 3, and he's had a couple clutch victories. That's how he got to this stage in the championship fight. And right now, currently 2nd of the 4 drivers. The Vincent brothers now trading spots. Josiah moves into the 10th position. He's going to try and take the 9th spot away. Here comes Starling, kind of throws a block. Gets the air back on the nose of the 4 car. We'll see what he does here. The 4 of Vincent working quite a bit lower than most drivers, but so hard to make that pass out of the corner. But Gemmell not able to get the run off. Looks like Josiah is going to drop right in front. He'll take over the 9th position. Here comes Jeremiah starting to make his moves as well. He'll go to the inside and right to the back bumper of the 4 car. Now we've got 3 championship contenders in line with AJ Stravato up here. He's taken over the 4th position. And we'll see if he can get up there and try and get up and lead some laps here. 21 laps in. Seth Hatchell shows the way. And everybody pretty much single file, I think. Oh, look at this. Josiah Vincent moves to the 8th position. He made a pass around Nick Starling, so Josiah starting to charge back up towards the front here. I think he may have played it right. We saw him qualify up there in the 3rd position, and then he dropped all the way outside the top 10, now climbing back up a few positions. And doing a good job at it here. He's got some speed, that is for sure. And all over the back bumper of Eric Hutton. So trying to make something work, pull a little strategy game, conserve the tires, and it looks like it is working for him. He's going to go to the inside of Hutton and try and take 7th away, and he will. No contest at all. The 4 car making great lap times right now and fighting through traffic. He'll be up in the top 5 in no time as he works up towards the back bumper of Mark Emerson now out of turn number 2. Just 2 car lengths separating those cars. He'll look down low this time in turn number 1. We'll see if he can make it work down here. To the inside of Emerson he goes now down the backstretch side by side. The 3 and the 4. Here he goes. Going to try and complete that pass. Very good drive down into turn number 3. He's going to come up the racetrack and right in front of Emerson, and he'll take that spot away. So move Josiah Vincent to the 6th spot. He is climbing. And probably the most consistent driver all year with 18 top 10s out of the 19 races that have been run. I don't know how you could beat that, really. Very impressive season for Josiah. Had 11 top 5s as well. So he was in the mix quite a lot. Had a chance at multiple race wins other than the 2 that he did end up getting. We'll see if he's got anything to challenge AJ Stravato, who is starting to reel in Brandon Vasquez. Try and get up there in the 3rd position. And pretty much matching lap times with the top 2. Pulling that draft off of Vasquez right now. It looks like things might have stabilized just a bit for the stream, so that is good news. Hopefully it stays like that. As right now, AJ Stravato reeling in that 19 machine of Vasquez. And we are just clicking laps off here. Lap 28 on the board. Seth Hatchell still under pressure. 20 laps led so far. Started 6th, currently leading the way. Doing a fantastic job of managing the tires. Now almost 30 laps into the race, and nobody really gaining on him. Actually, it looks like Stravato and Vasquez might have pulled up a couple tenths over the last couple laps, as Stravato was about 1.5 back, and now he's at 1.35, so definitely closing. Now 1.25 the margin to the leader, and that is going to be worrisome for these guys up in front. That 48 car, he's either dominant from the start or he will get to the front by the end of things. And right where he started in the 4th position, but has been pretty much biding his time back here, I think. And I think it's time to start moving. And Brandon Vasquez also doing a good job gaining some time. Stravato really just maintaining now around 1.2, 1.3. Doing a good job here, the 8-time winner this season. And if you're just joining us, these are the 4 drivers contending for a championship: Josiah Vincent, Nick Starling, Jeremiah Vincent, AJ Stravato. And as they run, Stravato leading all of them in the 4th position. Josiah Vincent now up to 5th though, and he's got that 48 car out the windshield. It's about 2 seconds separating them. And then Jeremiah Vincent 8th. Nick Starling is faded to the 11th position after moving up into about 8th early on in this. Right now starting to go the wrong direction as we have a battle. The 31 of Adkins and Joey Mines, the number 20, continuing to race it up side by side. And here goes Stravato trying to make the pass on Vasquez side by side down the front stretch. Drag race to the start finish line. Looks like Vasquez has the position. That 48 car is climbing, and it looks like he'll complete the pass here. 3rd position for AJ Stravato. Does he have enough to get up there and catch the top 2 and try and take the lead away? It looks like 33 laps down so far. No sign of any real handling issues. Look at the weather tonight: 72-degree air temp, 76-degree track temp. Should be plenty comfortable for these guys on the speedway. It looks like maybe some more connection problems for us here at the moment. Not exactly sure what's going on, but we will have to figure it out here. And luckily, our last broadcast for quite a while. And let's do a quick run through the field to see where everybody's at here, about a quarter of the way through the race. Right now, Seth Hatchell leading the way. Right behind him, Eric Gallion in the 2nd position, right where he started. AJ Stravato now back moving forward. He is in the 3rd position. Brandon Vasquez, your pole sitter, led the first 7 laps, and now back to the 4th spot. Josiah Vincent closing in. He's up to the 5th position after running outside the top 10. Safe Fair is up to 6th right now. Jeremiah Vincent up to 7th. Mark Emerson in the 8th spot. He's under fire from Ryan Gemmel, who is in 9th. Eric Hutton rounding out the top 10 right now. In 11th position, it is Nick Starling. 12th position, Joey Mines in the 20 car. Good run for Joey here tonight as he is battling it up with Cody Adkins in 13th. Chris Samard has climbed 6 spots from 20th to ride in 14th right now. Michael Newman in 15th. Alan Dice, who was in the playoffs until last round as well, right here in the 16th position. Dallas Sullivan riding 17th. 18th is Timothy Emanuele. 19th, Lyle Sulfridge. 20th is Dennis Steele, the number 28 car. 21st, the number 13 of Jordan Shepler. Justin Carey in the 22nd position. Lane Sulfridge 23rd here tonight. Zach Smith riding in 24th. He's got some right front damage, pretty heavy actually, along the entire right side of that, below the double yellow Toyota Camry. Thomas Brendel in the 25th position here tonight, and Kyle Payne currently last in the field, 26th position, and he is just a couple seconds from going a lap down. Some right side damage on that race car. That is your full field rundown. Hatchell, you can see out the windshield of that race car, starting to close in on the back bumper of Kyle Payne. And Kyle up in the wall there as Seth starting to approach. The margin really just about a second or so between these two cars. And Seth has started to pull away from Eric Gallion. That margin now up to over half a second. AJ Stravato 1.3 back, has not been able to close any more than that. But definitely has some good long run speed here. especially in the mid part of the run. He was able to close up quite a bit, now gets that margin under 1.3. And now he's going to work to the inside. Kyle Payne going a lap down, and no issue there. The 68 just well off the pace. He rides up against the wall again, and the 68 could have some issues here. Here comes Josiah Vincent to the inside. Brendan Vasquez also working low. They're going to both clear him, no issue at all. And we've got a battle a little farther back here. The 44 of Ferris and the 77 of Hutton were just side by side, but now they settled things out. Here goes Hutton back to the inside, and he will take over the 9th position. Ferris back to 10th. He's got some right front damage after tagging the wall. And Nick Starling right there behind them, the 11th position. Not exactly the run I'm sure he was hoping for right now, right where he started in that 11th spot, but had charged up to 8th and looked like he could have had some good speed to get up there into the top 5, but has not worked out just yet. But trying to figure things out here. Still plenty of time, almost 100 laps to go. As Seth Hatchell has pulled out now to almost over 3/4 of a second rather. And we are going to go quickly to a commercial break, and we will be right back with more green flag action.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing and specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Back at the racetrack now. Nick Starling going to bring it to pit lane early among the championship contenders. Mark Emerson came down just a lap ago as well. And who is going to be the next one to bring it down here? It looks like maybe Safe Ferris. He's got big right side damage, and he's going to have to try and get that repaired and see if he can get back up to pace. He was pretty quick here in the early going, running up in the top 5 like we've seen so often this season, but a mistake obviously costing him quite a bit of pace. As at the front still Seth Hatchell. AJ Stravato up here in the mix, just 1.5 seconds back, still leading the 4 drivers fighting for the championship. So he is in a pretty good standing, but Josiah Vincent not too far back right now, 1.5 seconds from him, and still plenty of time to make up that ground. As here comes Joey Mines onto the pit road. He's got some right front damage. So some drivers starting to make mistakes as he rolls into his pit box. Good stop in the box. Once again, want to apologize for any of the stream issues. We're really not exactly sure what's been going on here the last few weeks, trying to figure out if it's an internet problem or what the case is. Really, there's Eric Hutton bringing it onto the pit lane. Lane Sulfridge also on pit road. Quite a few drivers have brought it down, but still 19 left to do so. And I don't really see any of the leaders starting to come down here. Maybe Michael Newman, as he pulls it across the racetrack down to the pit lane. Really fast onto pit road, might get a speeding penalty for that. We'll have to see as he brings it on the pit lane. Let's see if anyone else decides to do so. Maybe Cody Adkins. Nope, he's on the other end of the racetrack. Here comes Newman into his box. Good stop there. And just trying to see who the next taker is going to be. If you are one of the championship drivers, you don't really want to be the first one down. But you also don't really want to be the last one down necessarily. Although tires do make a difference here. We're down about 2 seconds from the fastest laps of the race as Hatchell puts a lap on the 71 machine of Lane Sulfridge. That'll actually be 2 laps down for Lane. As still 18 drivers yet to bring it onto the pit road. And 71 of Sulfridge trying to get one of those laps back. Here comes Chris Samard onto pit road. The number 37 machine who's gained a few spots. Cody Adkins, Dallas Sullivan also bringing it in pretty much side by side right now. So this could get interesting among these two. Jordan Shepler, Zach Smith also coming onto the pit road. Shepler already in his box. Thomas Brendel onto pit lane now. As Josiah Vincent, Eric Gallion, Jeremiah Vincent, AJ Stravato, Seth Hatchell all bringing on. As Jeremiah Vincent going to stay on the racetrack. So he's going to be the final of the championship 4 to bring it down the pit lane. And 52 laps going to be on those tires and fuel. And I don't think they can make it to a halfway point here. That would be quite a ways to go as Jeremiah down on the low line here. Looks like he is going to be bringing it to the pit lane, and that might hand off the lead to Timothy Emanuele if he does not bring it down this time, but looking like he might end up doing so. The Red Bull machine slowing up, not coming to pit lane though, so he will inherit the lead that time at the line. Still Jeremiah Vincent, but Lyle Sulfridge also remaining on the racetrack. And Justin Carey, Dennis Steele bringing it down the pit road. Jeremiah getting service completed. It's going to be interesting to see how things shake out. Looks like Nick Starling with a huge advantage from pitting early. So could be a good move for Nick, who was running in 11th position before the cycle started. Now up to 4th. And right there behind Mark Emerson, who pitted a couple laps before him. So he's got a tire advantage, but he has a disadvantage to AJ Stravato, who's leapfrogged Seth Hatchell. And caution on the speedway, as it looks like it was right there. Maybe the 39, maybe the 57 of Alan Dice going around. And that is going to be very interesting. A lot of these guys on the tail end of the lead lap. I'm really not sure what the shakeout is going to be here, but caution number 1 flying. Let's go take a look. We take a look here with Alan Dice just losing control down in that low line and then hard into the outside wall. Emerson and Starling able to squeeze on past, and this may have been a blessing for Nick Starling, who was only a couple seconds ahead of Stravato, but able to gain quite a few spots through that cycle, up to 2nd now, and gets a chance to cool the tires off. Definitely at a tire disadvantage, but he will remain on the racetrack. want to thank you all for tuning in here tonight. You can check us out at all of these different social media outlets each and every week. This is going to be our final broadcast for a few months, and then we'll be back in the spring with the Virtual Racing League on Wednesday nights, and then the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series on Thursday nights, starting early on in the year in February, I believe, for both those series. So going to be a little break here on V-Speed, but we appreciate everyone who's followed along over the last few months. Over the course of 2020, actually, it's been a big year for V-Speed. Up over 400 followers, and really looking to grow that even more. We are doing some giveaways, or a giveaway rather. If you follow us here on Twitch as well as over on our Twitter, you are eligible for the giveaway when we get to these goals. We're not too far on Twitter, and not too far here on Twitch now with the few that we've gotten tonight. Just 92 left to go. We're trying to hit 500. And when we do so, you'll be eligible for a giveaway for any piece of merchandise, whether a hat or shirt, on our website. And that will be a lot of fun to see who ends up with that. And it's been a fun journey growing this year, and appreciate each and every one of you, the fans, comes out each and every race to watch. And if you are just tuning in to tonight's race, this is the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series Fight for the Championship, live from Homestead-Miami Speedway. 135 laps here tonight, and we are getting close to the halfway point. 202.5 miles here, and this is the season finale. 4 drivers fighting it out to bring home the championship. Some money involved and on the line for these guys as well. So there is some stuff at stake. And it's interesting how things have played out right now. Mark Emerson showing us your leader. After pitting earlier than everyone else, he has cycled out. But does he bring it to pit lane here at any point under this yellow flag? Not going to be the case. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break and be right back. Back at the racetrack now. We are back underway. Oh, give me one moment. We are having some problems, so we will be right back. Apologize for that. Still having some problems with our overlay software. I think that may be the cause of all the stream issues tonight. Continues to, I think there's an incompatibility with a recent Windows update. But the cause of the yellow flag here, Lane Sulfridge going around off the front bumper of Safe Ferris, who got loose, and he gets hooked up into the outside wall. Joey Mines involved. The 14 of Thomas Brendel, the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge also involved here, as he could not avoid the spinning number 20 machine. So quite a few drivers involved in that one to bring out caution number 2 as they bring their cars onto the pit lane. And AJ Stravato, your leader here, championship contender, and doing a fantastic job in this race so far. Started 4th. He has led just a few laps here as we've been under yellow. He took the lead right as the yellow flag flew, so he took over that top spot. Nick Starling in 2nd. Looks like Mark Emerson went to the back here. He's led a few laps tonight. And we'll see if this is fully updated. Seth Hatchell has been really the majority leader here. 43 laps led out of the 60 that have been run. And we got a couple of his fans in the chat. Got Reggie Ortega from Virtual Racing League. Thank you for tuning in, man. Hope you are enjoying, and hopefully we can get these software issues figured out. Really not sure what's going on. Haven't had issues like this in a long time, but maybe some iRacing updates, some Windows updates, and some ATVO not keeping up maybe the problem. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying the stream. Nonetheless, thank you for the subscription. Not Your Average Noah, gifting that to Joey Mines. So Joey gonna see that he got that after the race, hopefully. But he was involved in the last incident here, so hopefully that'll cheer him up just a bit. But thank you for that subscription, as we are getting closer and closer to the halfway point, just about 5 laps away. And hopefully the stream will kind of straighten out here at some point. Waiting for that green flag to fly once again. AJ Stravato in control for the first time tonight on a restart. And he's going to get us going. Green flag in the air. Nick Starling to the outside, not able to time it just right, but he'll hang on to the 2nd spot, as Seth Hatchell did not get going all that well. And can't forget Nick on slightly older tires than most of these drivers. But it worked out for him here with the way the pit cycle shook out. But how long can he keep it up here in the top 3? We take a look at the ticker once again. Stravato leading the way. Nick Starling 2nd. Seth Hatchell 3rd. And that 48 car being out front, that is a scary sight for everybody else. 8 wins this year. And can he close out the season with another victory? Dominating season. 14 top 5s and 14 top 10s. And really the only reason he didn't have more is because he was either involved in wrecks in the plate races or was not racing those nights. But right now, Hatchell passing up Nick Starling. No challenge there by the 32, is Hatchell going to try and chase down the 48 and try and get that car back out to the front of the field. Eric Gallion, who had a good run going at the start of this, he's back to 7th now, the way the pit cycle worked out. Jeremiah Vincent up here in the 6th spot. and he is doing a very solid job of managing this race as well. Josiah Vincent has been very good. Yellow flag back on the racetrack. Looks like the one machine of Zach Smith potentially involved in this one, and that is going to be the case. He is heavily damaged, and he'll bring it onto the access road here. Actually, that's the road course, I believe, so that's not going to work out. Let's go take a look at what happened to Zach here. So Zach Smith racing up with Mark Emerson and the 39 of Timothy Emanuele. He just gets loose in the wake of the 3 car. Loses control, can't quite get it back under control, hits the inside wall, up across the racetrack, and almost tagged by Thomas Brendel. That was a close call. Man, hard hit for Zach. I'm a little surprised that he was not able to get that car back under control. I wonder if he had some type of an issue with his equipment, because that car got loose. And it looks like he had it saved here. I'm not sure if he somehow blew an engine or something, but that car, very heavy contact, and he, I believe, did blow the engine from the impact. Actually, it's not smoking here, but that was definitely a hard hit. He is taking it behind the wall. Either way, as the field, most of the field bringing it down, except for the top 5, it appears. Seth Hatchell bringing it down pit road. Eric Gallion here as well. And they're going to have pretty good advantage on the tires here. And he will pull out. He'll be in the 6th position. So Lyle Sulfridge up here with this lead pack. Timothy Emanuele, Jeremiah Vincent, Josiah Vincent, and AJ Stravato. And Nick Starling did pit here. That'll send him back to the 9th position, but things may have just worked out very well for Nick Starling. Thank you for the subscription, Madcat Felix. Appreciate that. And thank you for tuning in and your support over the last few months. Really appreciate that, man. And once again, really want to apologize for the stream quality tonight. Not sure what's going on. Trying to manage it the best we can here, but it appears we are dropping frames pretty bad. And so I expect that it's probably freezing up quite a bit, maybe stuttering a little bit for the viewers out there, but hopefully it's not unwatchable entirely, and you're still able to see this awesome championship battle we've got going on here with all 4 drivers in the top 9. 3 of them now on slightly older tires, and Nick Starling going to have a bit of a tire advantage, which is kind of the opposite of the situation just a few laps ago. But we're going to go quickly to another commercial break, and we'll be right back with the green flag.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and
Right now, Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself?
Green flag back in the air, and we are underway. AJ Stravato, good restart. He's going to jump out in front of the Vincent brothers and Timothy Emanuele, Seth Hatchell, the top five. Hatchell with a little wiggle there through the middle of the corner on these fresh Goodyear Eagles. A little bit cold off the pit lane, and he's going to have the number 33 of Galleon put some pressure on him here down the backstretch into turn 3. And they're going to have a pretty good advantage over these guys right here in front of them on the slightly older tires. Nick Starling trying to make the most of it as well. He's going to get a good run out of turn 4, and he'll work up to the outside of Galleon. Eric Hutton also up here in the mix. Down the backstretch they go. Starling moves to 7, and the top 4 in the championship are all in the top 7 on the racetrack. And AJ Stravato, he is driving away now over a second in front of Josiah Vincent and Jeremiah Vincent, who battle it out here for that second spot. And then we've got the V-Speed machine of Seth Hatchell, the V-Speed machine of Ryan Gemmel also up in the mix. Ryan, a winner this season. And Timothy Emanuele now working back to his inside. Nick Starling not far behind. This is really the first battle on the racetrack as Ryan under pressure from Emanuele, but the 39, a big wiggle there. Here comes Starling, going to try and work to the inside now. Now in the front straightaway, the 39 lost a lot of momentum. And Nick going to be able to drive right on past, move the 32 to the 6th position. Down the backstretch, he's going to try and chase down the V-Speed machine of Ryan Gemmel, and about 2 seconds back of your leader, AJ Stravato, who has maintained that 1 second lead. Josiah Vincent holding off Jeremiah right now, and Seth Hatchell trying to make his way back up to the point. He's led over half this race and doesn't want to let it slip away from him here. Was very quick, well out in front, managed the tires well on the first run. And often a very good driver at these 1.5 miles at conserving the tires, but so is that 9 car of Jeremiah Vincent. He's been pretty good here at these types of racetracks. Josiah has been extremely consistent all over the map this season, and so not a surprise that those guys are up here. Especially when they're fighting for the championship, they've got to be driving their hardest. And impressed with the way that Nick has recovered here. He was up to 8th early in the race, fell outside the top 10. Decided to pit early, and it worked out for him, and he was up there in the top 3. And now he is starting to close in on a top 5 position. And really, the top 6, it's all championship contenders in the 2 V-Speed machines. That is all that is up here. Timothy Emanuele fading back to 7th now, the slightly older tires. Cody Adkins behind him, starting to reel him in. Here comes Galleon as well. Galleon was up there fighting with Hatchell not long ago, but Hatchell now moving to the inside of Jeremiah Vincent, and he'll take away the 3rd position. You could see how loose Jeremiah was coming out of that corner. Take a look from the nose of Hatchell. All over the back bumper of Josiah Vincent, starting to put that pressure on, and Josiah is actually closing in on AJ Stravato. That gap under 9/10, so Josiah pretty quick here. He has been really the closest contender to AJ Stravato all race long, and now Seth Hatchell back to second, the fresher tires than Stravato. I think he might be able to get up there and challenge for that lead. He's been pretty much the best car here tonight. Stravato's been a very good car as well, and Eric Gallion has been very quick as well, but he has not really had that speed on this as the second half of this race has started. Kind of similar to what we saw at Richmond a couple weeks back. He was very good there in the early going, and then faded really in the second half. Still ended up with I believe a top 3 position, but it was not looking like he was going to have that for the majority of that race. And now Josiah Vincent kind of on an island here, not able to keep up with Hatchell, and still a few car lengths back to Ryan Gemmel, as Jeremiah has fallen back into the clutches of Nick Starling. And Nick has been pretty much matching lap times to the leader. He's on the fresher tires, but in traffic that can be very difficult to do, even with the tire advantage. But not yet able to pass Jeremiah Vincent. This time into turn 3, he'll dive it down in there, right along the white line. Can't quite slide up in front of him, but they will remain side by side here out of turn 4. Jeremiah, though, with the advantage on the high side, he'll clear him and hold on to that 5th position, as Hatchell has really started to reel in the 48 now, half second behind him. And he's pulled about a second away from Josiah Vincent, so Stravato running for his life. He's trying to win his 9th race of the season, 10 if you include the All-Star race. And that's nearly half of everything that's been run here. It's looking like some things might have stabilized once again on the broadcast side. Hopefully that is the case, and we don't end up dropping more frames like we were. Hopefully we can get a nice smooth run to the end of this broadcast, as Hatchell now within 3 or 4 car lengths, and really putting the pressure on Stravato to push that car to its limits, as Nick Starling has gotten past Josiah Vincent. Here comes, or Jeremiah Vincent rather, and here comes Gallion as well. So Jeremiah Vincent starting to fade a bit quicker than Josiah, but Josiah has also lost position to Ryan Gemmel, and now starting to fall back towards the number 32 machine. So Starling really benefiting from the time that caution came out. So Nick Starling doing a good job of making the best of what looked like it could have been a hopeful or hopeless situation, and starting to climb back up into contention for this championship. Look at Hatchell all over the back bumper of the 48. So he gets a huge run into turns 3 and 4 now down the front straightaway. It's going to be nose to tail. Stravato and Hatchell, the two most lap leaders here tonight. Hatchell going to look to the outside. I'm not sure AJ is going to fight him all that hard, knowing that Seth has the fresher tires. Seth goes way up to the high side, and that did not work out for him, as he lost about 2 car lengths down the backstretch here. 1 car length the difference now down into turn 3, and can he make the move now that he has caught the 48, or has Stravato just been sandbagging a little bit? And Hatchell's still about 2 car lengths back, so if he can't make the pass quickly here, he's never going to be able to with the way the aerodynamics work. So he charges hard into turn number 1, but again, not really able to keep that margin where it needs to be to make a pass. He loses more time that time around. He was a 10th slower the last lap, and looking like it could be another 10th this time, so he's going to have to figure something else out, as Ryan Gemmel's starting to reel in both of these guys. and on board with Gemmel right now. You can see those two up there all on their own. And then behind him, Josiah Vincent has lost touch really with those three. Not too terribly out of the mix, but tire disadvantage to the V-Speed cars, and obviously just not quite able to keep up with Stravato, who's been driving the wheels off that thing. And then Eric Gallion behind him, not too far in the distance. And Nick Starling, who's fighting to hang on to that 5th spot. He's going to try and pull a crossover here. The 32 looking underneath the 33. Down the front stretch, not able to make it work. Look at Chris Simard up in the mix. Simard started in 20th, now up here in the top 10. Not too far outside the top 5, so very good run for Chris Simard, who's shown some speed in his few races here in the league. Just has not had the finishes necessarily. I think he did have a top 5 run at Richmond, but otherwise has been involved in wrecks really. So looking to get another one of those top 5s. As he gets right to the back bumper of Starling. As they dive down into turn 1 and 2. Hatchell still unable to make it work and get around Stravato. It's a bit surprising with the tire advantage, but I think they've pretty much equalized at this point. And Seth, obviously in the dirty air, not able to run a preferred line. Not able to keep up with the 48, at least not within a car length or two. Now back about 3, maybe 4 car lengths down into turn number 1. We'll see if the number 8 machine can figure anything out here. Gemmel still about a second and a half behind, not really able to do anything either, as there's Simard to the outside of Nick Starling. So Chris Simard, he moves to the 6th spot and about 6/10 behind Eric Gallion. Ooh, and a little wiggle there for Simard, so he is driving really hard in that car. Thank you for the follow, Bev Diesel. Appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in here to the championship race in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. I hope everyone is enjoying so far. If you are liking the content, please consider following or subscribing. It does do a lot to help us out here on the channel, and we will be taking a break for a little bit, so your subscription's not going to be all that effective in getting you too much here, but hopefully we will be streaming now and then a few races that we're either participating in or just having some fun with now and then. So not going to be going away permanently. It's going to be a couple months before we're streaming other league races and bringing the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series back to you, but still 40 laps left in this thing, so it is anybody's race, as they are going to have to make a pit stop at some point here. And I'm looking at Seth Hatchell and a lot of other drivers pitting, it looks like 27 laps ago. And that is not going to be close enough to make it on fuel. They're still going to be about 10-15 laps short, I think, if they saved pretty significantly. So question is, do they try and do the short pit or something? I think Stravato is going to have to bring it in probably about 10 laps even sooner than that. So things could work out for some of these guys, depending on if they try and do a short pit or what. But right now, AJ Stravato in control of this race, and he is pulling away from Seth Hatchell, which is a bit of a surprise based on the way the pit cycle and the tires worked out. Hatchell not able to make the pass. He was right on the back bumper, and he has now lost about a half second since that point. And his teammate Ryan Gemmel not able to keep up as well. He's back about 2 more tenths over the last few laps. Eric Gallion over 3 seconds behind. Josiah Vincent trying to hang on to this 5th position, but here comes Chris Simard just 3 car lengths behind him. What a good run for Chris. Nick Starling starting to fade right now, 7th position. He's 5 seconds back. And Eric Hutton starting to close back in. Brandon Vasquez, your pole sitter, also having a very solid run here tonight, up in the top 10. Led the first 7 laps of the race, has not been able to get back to that point, but would not be a surprise to see that 19, if he can get back to the lead, be able to be very quick, at least on a short run. So if we get a late caution or something, the 19 might be able to pull this race out, but Jeremiah Vincent not having the race that he needs back here in 10th position. Not a bad run per se, but it's not a championship winning run. He sees his contenders all up there in front of him. He's got to have some concerns that maybe staying out under that last caution is not working out the way he expected. He's probably hoping for a yellow flag or something here, at least at some point in this run. And going to be about 35 laps to go here soon, and back in the 10th spot. So Jeremiah Vincent hanging tough though in the top 10. And let's see who else we've got a little bit farther back having a solid run. Looks like Dallas Sullivan in the 11th position. He is having a pretty solid run here, the number 6 machine. We've seen Dallas have some great runs this season. And look at this, up 10 spots from the start of the race. So Dallas putting together a pretty quiet little run here in the finale of the season. And, you know, he definitely had some very solid finishes, led some laps in races, and kind of an up and down year for Dallas, but hopefully he can end it here on a high note. Cody Adkins, also pretty solid run in the 12th position, right around this spot all race long. And can't say much more about that. Look at Jordan Scheffler up here, 13th. His performance has really picked up over this this last few race span. I know he was up there really contending for a win at Kansas. I think he ended up on the podium. And we've got Tally Wicked 626 cheering on Timothy Emanuele. As we've got cars coming to the pit lane. That is Mark Emerson, Justin Carey. That is very interesting to see Emerson back on pit lane. He was one of the first, or actually he pitted later than a lot of drivers previously, but he is going to do a bit of a short pit here, see if he can make up some time on the front end. And he's got some rear end damage, definitely affecting the handling of that race car. But he is going to go a lap down, and so is Safe Ferris, the number 44, who has quite a bit of damage. And man, what a kind of a disappointing way for Safe to end this season. He was up here in the top 5. It looked like he caught the wall, went to the back of the field after getting some of that repaired, and made a mistake on that restart there, getting loose and collecting a few race cars. But Safe, very fast driver this year, and just not his year to get out here and win any races. But he was in contention quite a few times. Look at that big wiggle, though. As soon as I start talking about him, maybe he's watching the broadcast and heard his name. Lane Sulfridge on the pit lane right now. He gets service completed on his race car and off the pit lane. Let's see who else has brought it down. So Michael Newman, Mark Emerson, Justin Carey, Joey Mines, Lane Sulfridge. Kyle Payne was on pit lane a couple laps ago. But not too many others bringing it down just yet. Safe Fair is currently the first car one lap down, but yeah, actually he's in pretty good position for that right now. Michael Newman about a straightaway back on the fresh tires, but Safe could end up snagging a lucky dog here if things work out correctly. But Michael will be able to catch him here pretty quickly. Safe well off the pace from the leaders. And AJ Stravato, he has held on to this lead and 1 second out in front of Seth Hatchell. That 48 car dominant once again, and it took a little while in this race for him to get up here, but once he gets the lead, it is hard to take it back away from him. He has now led 48 laps, coming to 49 this time across the line. And Hatchell, you can see him right there in second, just not able to quite keep up with him. He lost about another 10th and a half that time around. And even with fresher tires, just not able to keep him underneath the car. And the dirty air here in that second position definitely playing a role. Ryan Gemmel's been a solid third place here tonight after starting in the 5th position. He had faded towards the latter half of the top 10 and up here fighting for a podium finish. Eric Gallion, a very strong 4th position right now as well. Looks like Hatchell going to bring it to pit lane. Maybe this is the call to win the race. A short pit. We'll see if Stravato responds at any point here soon. Looks like Eric Hutton also on the pit lane. Trying to see if anybody else is bringing it down right now. Looks like really just those drivers. And Hutton missed his box, so he is not going to even get service completed. That is a big mistake for Hutton. That's going to cost him probably a lap or nearly a lap, as here comes Stravato onto the pit lane, so he responds instantly, and we'll see what this cycles out to be. Hatchell is going to have to get a really good run on the outlap here to pass the 48, but only going to be a 1-lap difference on tires. We'll see what Hatchell can do. He pulls out on the racetrack here. Josiah Vincent right in his mirror. Hatchell going to keep it down low in 3 and 4. I think Josiah Vincent probably going to bring it in this time. He does. And Eric Gallion, your leader, he's going to bring it in as well. So where is AJ Stravato on the access road? Where is Seth Hatchell? Coming through 1 and 2. He might end up getting AJ Stravato, as here's Stravato pulling on the racetrack. Hatchell out of turn number 2. He's going to pass him down the backstretch here. So Seth Hatchell hitting 1 lap earlier. We'll see if that makes much of a difference in terms of their tire wear and their lap times. I think the first couple laps are a little bit slippery, so Seth gets that out of his system. And look at this, Michael Newman, your race leader. Or actually, rather, Jeremiah Vincent, the race leader. He brings it to the pit lane now. I believe the last of the championship contenders to bring it in. Timothy Emanuele going to stay on the racetrack. He'll lead a lap here. Now his 2nd of the race, actually. And Lyle Sulford's also going to remain on the racetrack. Those are your last 2 to stay out. Here comes Nick Starling onto the racetrack. Nick with perhaps an issue, showing him 1 lap down in 22nd. I'm really not sure what's going on there. He might have had a speeding penalty or something, but 14.7 second stop doesn't look like a problem. He just lost a lot of time somewhere. He is well behind, and that could be his shot at a championship. But this is going to be the battle and the story of this race. Can Stravato get back by Hatchell with just a little bit over 20 laps remaining? They're within striking distance of each other. Stravato about 3/4 of a second back. And Hatchell looking for his 3rd victory of the season. He's going to go to the outside of Michael Newman. Newman pitted 7 laps prior, and Hatchell almost making contact there. That's going to slow them both up. Look at Stravato wheeling that thing in the background. He's going to close up quite a bit now. That margin, just 0.3 of a second. So Michael Newman, his wiggle down low, Hatchell's wiggle up high, cost him a lot of time, and Stravato slinging it around the inside lane. He has reeled it in now to 1/4 of a second, and this could be dangerous for Hatchell if he lets that 48 car get too close to try and attempt the pass. He is going to have to be very aggressive to try and hang on to the lead here. Here goes Nick Starling, going to go back on by and get his lap back, but Nick outside the top 20 on the racetrack, so I don't know what happened to Nick. But right now, 2 cars left to pit. That is Timothy Emanuele and Lyle Sulfridge, the heavily damaged number 70 car. And then behind him, for position, it is Seth Hatchell and AJ Stravato. You know, I'm not sure if Nick maybe brought it down the access road to try and get it onto pit lane. That would really cost you a lot of time. Look at Hatchell almost making contact with the wall. He moves to second as Emanuele still left to pit. But this is going to be the battle for the race win. And right now, the other championship contenders outside the top 10. Jeremiah Vincent in the 14th position. Josiah Vincent in 10th. Now he actually just climbs inside the top 10, but it is Stravato by a mile. He is almost a half lap ahead of anybody else in championship contention. 15 seconds back to Josiah Vincent. I don't know why that margin is so large. They were not that far apart, but something happening to some of these drivers that put them well behind this lead battle. And when does Timothy Emanuele bring it in? Not this time, and he's only got about a 3-second lead, and then he's going to have to bring it onto the pit lane. But Hatchell in second, he's holding off Stravato, and these two, the fastest cars all race long. And the strategy working out extremely well for Hatchell to really get back up in the mix after kind of being put on the back foot there. Stravato electing to stay out during one of the pit cycles. Here comes Emanuele in front of Hatchell, who moves up the racetrack and gives a lot of space for the 39. But now Stravato just on the bumper. He is there. That 48 car, he's going to have to be careful to not get that thing loose in the wake behind the 8. But he is really slinging that car around these corners, and he's got a great run out of turn 2. Stravato on the back bumper. Looking to the inside now. This will be the battle for the lead. Hatchell trying to hang on to it. Can he hold off AJ Stravato for about another 17 laps? As across the line they come, he pulls back out in front about 2 car lengths. And Stravato really pushing that race car now. He's got to be careful not to make any big mistakes. The race is not over yet. He has not claimed the championship yet. And he has to be careful not to burn his stuff up in case we get a late caution here. I'm not sure how many tires they have left. But both of these guys right on the edge. Seth Hatchell has been so good all season long. 2 victories in the second round of the playoffs got him to the third round, and he was just 5 points out. Headed into Talladega. Did not make it after getting involved in a couple wrecks. And almost tagging the wall there across the bumps down the backstretch. They pass Safe Fares to put him another lap down. And what a battle for the lead here. Going to be 15 laps to go. We're going to keep our eyes on this as much as possible. Down the front stretch here, Stravato peaks low. He doesn't have the run just yet. But into the corner, he is all over the back bumper. And he's going to try and work to the outside this time. Gets up about a half lane higher than Hatchell and out of turn number 2. A big run for AJ Stravato right to the back bumper again. He's going to peak low, not going to do it this time. Now he's going to peak to the inside. Hatchell gives him the lane, and they almost make contact nearly door to door. Out of turn number 4, Hatchell. He's got the 48 to his inside. Can he clear him down across the start-finish line? Not able to clear him yet into turn 1, so Stravato, big run out of turn 4 there, able to get alongside, and Hatchell gonna have to try and hold him off here. Stravato been so good down on that inside line. Hatchell working the high line though, and here's Safe Fares up in the mix. 2 laps down, but on fresh tires, and Stravato not able to pull the slide job just yet, but I think he's gonna clear him. Hatchell a little bit too high and out of the groove. Stravato back to the lead, less than 15 to go. Can he get back on by? Is he going to do anything like a bump and run? We've seen the high lane not work for Seth here over the last 2 runs, and right there you can see how much time he loses right there in the center of the corner and all the way back to 3/10 behind. He's going to have to figure it out. I think Stravato, though, now with the car in front, it may be over for these guys. He doesn't even have to win at this point. His closest challenger is Josiah Vincent in 8th. He could finish 1st through 7th and win the championship right now. But he is out here doing what he's done all season long. Kyle Payne in the wall right in front of him. And Hatchell getting some help from Safe Ferris with a push down the backstretch, but he has started to lose a lot of ground to AJ Stravato, that 48 car, saving tires, but also putting pressure on the 8 of Hatchell. Looking like he might be on his way to victory number 9 this season. AJ Stravato, 53 laps led. It'll be 10 to go this time by. He's pulled out to nearly a second over Hatchell. And that lead continuing to grow. Hatchell not able to keep the tires underneath him for quite long enough, and 48 put too much pressure on him, and that is all she wrote. Now to the back bumper, or closing in on Joey Mines, who rides in 17th. We have 17 cars on the lead lap. Nick Starling in 16th after something happened on the pit cycle. So he's probably not going to have a shot at the championship here unless something really goes wrong at the end of this race for the guys in front of him. But everybody pretty well spaced out. We see Alan Dice, Safe Ferris, that is not a battle for position. But they are actually 23rd and 24th. It's just Alan a whole lap behind Safe. Currently 3 laps down. And both of these guys on pretty fresh tires compared to the leaders. And so they're actually going to be pretty quick even with all the damage. But this could be end of the road for Josiah Vincent, Jeremiah Vincent, and Nick Starling. Josiah in the 8th position. Jeremiah Vincent did lead a few laps here tonight. He rides right where he started in 9th. And Nick Starling actually pulling up some positions here. He does have fresher tires than a few cars in front. And he rides in the 14th position. But looked like he could have had a shot at it a couple times. He did, I think he led some laps here. Oh, no, he did not, because Mark Emerson was the leader. But good, valiant effort from all of these drivers to try and challenge for the championship. But AJ Stravato, he's looking like he's going to be able to do it once again. Checkered flag has not flown, so it is not over. But and the way this 48 car is moving right now, it looks like he is well on his way to victory. 1.4 seconds out in front of Seth Hatchell. And, you know, we talked about a couple drivers who had pretty impressive performances. Look at this, Chris Samard up to 4th from 20th position. I think biggest mover of the race. Right behind him, Dallas Sullivan in 6th, up from 21st. So huge run for Dallas here in this race. Also, Eric Gallion, he did lead a lap in this race, started 2nd, and a nice solid top 5 run for him all race long. So definitely big props to Eric, who's really picked up his performance here in these last few races. It has been very impressive to see the performance increase from him. Also, Brandon Vasquez started on the pole here. He led 7 laps, and he's trying to hold on to a top 10. He's got about 3/4 of a second over Cody Adkins, who's battling it out with a lap car right now. That is the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge. Cody, a nice solid top 15 run here, and very close to a top 10. Might have a shot at it here before it's said and done. But Stravato, 4 laps to go. And that gap back to Hatchell now 1.7 seconds and growing. Chicasso 18, saying AJ's a good guy. He's also a very good driver. He's participating in quite a few series across iRacing right now. I believe he does do some go-karting in real life. But with 2020 the way it's been, he hasn't really been able to do that as much or as often as he would like, and trying to make a name for himself here on iRacing, and he's definitely made a name for himself here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. 8 wins in the first 19 races. If he gets this one here, he'll have 9 out of the 20 race season, which is absolutely insane. Seth Hatchell, valiant effort as well. He's going to probably end up second here. He's got 3.5 seconds to his teammate Ryan Gemmel, who has quietly just been up here on the podium almost the entire race now. That number 16 machine winner at Michigan had a pretty good season going, was in the round of 8, and just some bad luck through each of those races. Just did not have enough points to advance, but definitely a good season from Ryan. He'll probably end up 6th, 7th in points, somewhere in that range. And white flag in the air for AJ Stravato. 4 more corners, and he will be the champion. Down the back straightaway for the final time into turns 3 and 4. We've seen this before in the real world. That 48 car is going to go to victory lane, and he's going to win the championship in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. AJ Stravato, your winner, your champion, 9-time winner, all-star race winner. What a season, and what a fantastic performance tonight by AJ. He gets it done and locks up the championship here tonight. What a drive. He was able to pass Seth Hatchell with about 15 to go, and there was no looking back after that. He drove away over a tenth a second faster, and he's getting a big bump there from Safe Ferris, Timmy Emanuele. Those guys get him congratulatory bumps. Here comes Eric Gallion, 5th place finisher here tonight. And Ryan Gemmel also going to give him a little wave by. Here's Samard. He'll give him a tap on the back bumper. So all of his competitors here, really. Joey Mine's going to drive on past and wave him off there. The 48 car getting ready to do some burnouts. Tear it down here on the front stretch. Congratulations to AJ Stravato, champion, the 2020 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, 9-time winner like we said, and he led the most laps here after starting in the 4th position. That's his 9th win, 15th top 5, 15th top 10 out of 20 races this season. Absolutely fantastic year for the driver of the 48, and a very, very deserving champion. So big congratulations to AJ. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back with the top 3 interviews, as well as we'll talk with the rest of the championship 4 and get their thoughts on the race.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
Jim, these two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
And welcome back to the racetrack. Now we are going to do things a little bit differently than we generally do. This being the championship race, 4 drivers fighting for that championship. We're going to bring up the last of the finishers here in 13th tonight, Mr. Nick Starling. Nick Starling, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Adam, I got you.
Well, Nick, not quite the night that you needed to win the championship here, but we saw you up in the mix a few times, kind of varying pit strategy, tried to get yourself a little bit of an advantage here and there, and ultimately you end up 13th here tonight. Was there anything you could have done to maybe get up a bit closer to the front or have a shot at this thing?
I don't think for first, that's for sure. That 48 was dialed in like it's been all season, so I'm glad he was able to be the champion for this season. He obviously was probably the most deserving, so it was pretty cool to see him being able to finish it out without any caution or drama. But for our setup, we just I had the steering ratio not as high as everybody, and I had the car set for a good short run because I knew I wasn't going to be able to kind of race with those guys on the long run. So I had it built for a short run. Steering ratio, like I said, was way down, and I knew the tires were going to burn off, so we short pitted that first run. Ended up second, worked out great, and next thing I know, we're sitting there running 6 for about 50 laps with the 4 and 9. So I think the car was a little better. I think we were a little better here at Homestead than I thought. So probably could have went with a different strategy now that I look at it. I thought I wasn't going to be anywhere near competition with them. So kind of missed the setup there. And then obviously the Dagger was trying to do a short pit again behind Josiah and couldn't get her committed enough. So it was either hit the barrels or swerve back out on the track. And then that point we were going 50 miles an hour, got a lap down and make our way back up to 13th. So we definitely had the speed, just couldn't pull it together tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what had happened, saw you lost a lot of time at some point there in the pit cycle, but thanks for clarifying that for us. But not a lost season by any means. You get 2 victories here and definitely had flashes of brilliance all season long, and made your way into the championship 4 here, which is a huge statement. Looking back on this season, what are your thoughts and what are you excited for next year?
I don't know what it was this season. It was just it was really conservative the first half of the season. I think just with the big field, it was trying to stay out of trouble, and we were very conservative on not qualifying, and we ended up not qualifying but getting in wrecks, so it didn't help us. And I think the point situation, the second half of the regular season, and then the playoffs, it was all aggressive qualifying, just running 100%. And I think we kind of saw what we're capable of when we're able to run 100%. So I think being able to go into next season and qualify and just run everything, all the way out, we'll be able to get some finishes like we saw there at the second half of this season.
Yeah, after that win at Talladega, things really started picking up for you. You grabbed a few top 10s, a few top 5s, and the second victory at Kansas to lock yourself in. So Definitely an impressive latter half of the year. Really cool to see you turn the ship around and make your way up here into the Final Four. But 13th place run tonight. Going to finish 4th in the points, but definitely a good year for you. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, obviously want to thank V Speed. Want to thank Zach Smith in the league for the paint scheme this year. It was awesome. Love that. Just want to thank all of our sponsors that came on this season for single race sponsors. I can't name them all. But everybody that's still watching, just want to let y'all know January 7th is when we kind of get the season back going. Got a lot of new sponsors coming in, bigger purse. I think the driver caliber is going to go up a little bit too. So I think you need to tune in Thursday nights on twitch.tv/VSpeedSim. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to next year and the new sponsors coming on board. But thanks for your time here tonight, Nick. Good season for you, and go celebrate that 4th place points finish.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
All right, that is Nick Starling. We're going to go to the 3rd place in points here tonight, Jeremiah Vincent. Jeremiah Vincent, Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, Jeremiah, you were up here in the top 10 all race long. You had a chance up there running in the top 5 for a good portion of this. You led a few laps, ultimately end up 8th here tonight. A little bit off on the strategy, I think, ultimately, but was there anything you could have done differently to maybe be a bit closer there at the end?
I think I could maybe thought of maybe short pitting, but then again, this is probably one of my worst tracks on the schedule. I'm pretty happy with the top 10 pulling out here, but I just didn't really have it for AJ. Maybe on some short runs, but the long runs, he had it.
Yeah, he was definitely the dominant car here. Both he and Seth Hatchell were kind of in a class of their own. But, you had a great season here. He ran very well on a lot of these mile and a halves. You had, I think, end up right around 10 top 10s this season, and we're always up there in the mix. Pretty much each and every week you had a shot at it. But looking back on this season, what are your thoughts and what are you excited for next year?
Clean slate. Hopefully I get a clinch off one of these wins. I've run second after a while. It kind of stinks, but just hope for a little bit better season. Like regular season, this past year was a little rough, a lot of up and downs, and I had to point my way in like literally the last race to get in before the playoffs, and I feel like I can get consistency in the playoffs and everything. I just need to do a little bit better in the regular season, I think, for the next one we go around.
Yeah, I had actually forgotten that was the case. You were pretty much the 16th seed, and I don't think you had any playoff points or anything, and you climbed all the way up here into the Final Four, so that's got to be, you got to have a feeling like that's a success to make it this far. You're going to end up 3rd in points, which, man, that's great. But not quite enough here tonight. You finished 8th. Still a very strong run for you up here in the top 10. But anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Give a shout out to Nick and all the admins of this league. They did a great job, and all the sponsors that came on. I want to thank you, Adam, at V Speed, covering all these races. Did an excellent job. I want to thank my teammates, helping each other all through the season. Don't be playing a team player and stuff. It shows it pays off. AJ, great job. He dominated all season. He definitely deserved this championship.
Yes, sir. Definitely dominant car all season long, and showed it again here tonight. But you have run very well all season. A lot to be proud of this year. So go celebrate with your team, and we will see you at the start of next year.
I'm good. You have a good one, Adam.
Thank you. That is Jeremiah Vincent. We're going to go to Josiah Vincent, who's going to end up runner-up in the championship. Josiah Vincent, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, Josiah, you're going to wind up 2nd in points here to your teammate there, AJ Stravato. But you had a very solid run all race long, started 3rd. You were up here in the mix pretty much the entirety of this thing, and something, kind of fell apart there towards the end, 13 seconds off the leaders. But you had such a fantastic year, so many top 5s and top 10s. what could you have done differently here possibly to stay in contention towards the end of this?
I'm not sure if there's anything I could have done. AJ's really good. About the only chance I had is if maybe we had a late caution there or a caution in that long green flag run to get everyone back on the same sequence of tires there. There were some different strategies there. So some guys were on fresher tires, some guys were on older tires. Got up there, but yeah, I think the only shot I had was maybe if we had a late caution there at the end.
Yeah, and I was thinking that was maybe what you guys were hoping for, but I just mentioned it a second ago. You were probably the most consistent of anyone in this field. I think you had pretty much a top 10 every race this year. We saw you overcome adversity a couple times. The race at New Hampshire stands out to me as one where it showed you never gave up. You were over 2 or 3 laps down, I think, and you ended up on the podium, which just kind of blew my mind when it happened. But lots of stories like that this year. Ultimately, second in points. What are you going to take from this year? Looking back on it and then moving forward to next year?
Just that I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to race with a lot of good guys. Fun to race with my brother and my friends in this league. And I mean, it's just, it's competitive every week. There's not any drama. But, guys get along pretty well. So just really thankful to be a part of the league. Thank Nick and everyone who puts this thing on.
Awesome, Josiah. Well, second place in points. Any other shout-outs you want to give before we let you go celebrate with your team?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to my teammates, obviously. A shout-out to AJ. He stomped us all year long, so he definitely deserves this championship here. And I'd like to thank you in the booth and V-Speed and Nick and the series and everything. So that's about it. I guess I'll get rested up and try and go after it again in Season 3.
Yes, sir, and looking forward to it after a great performance from you this year. So go celebrate, and we will catch you then.
All right, thanks.
All right, that is Josiah Vincent. And, man, we're going to make AJ wait a little while, make him sweat. He's not going to sweat. He's won enough here. But we're going to go to third place finisher in tonight's race, Ryan Gemmel. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Ryan, a quiet run for you here tonight, but one of your better ones, better luck at least than the last few races. You wind up on the podium here tonight. Very strong run. Give us a rundown of your performance here tonight.
Yeah, definitely started off slow. I think I was saving a little too much tire on that first initial run. I started like 5th, I think, and ended up falling the whole way back to 11th, and then I think I drove back up to 6th before green flag started or a caution came out, or I don't remember how that ended, but kind of realized I could push a little harder at the beginning of runs and started coming to me and started picking them off one by one, and couldn't catch Seth or AJ there at the end on that last run, or the second to last run. Then we hit green flags and I had a slow stop and lost even more ground on them. So third is going to be how the season ends.
Yeah, and I mean, not a bad performance from you here tonight. Those guys were definitely the class of the field, pretty much the whole race. I think they led, combined over 110 laps. So they were going to be tough to beat no matter what. But, like a lot of races this year, you were up in the mix. I know you didn't make it to the Final Four, which was disappointing, but you did get the win at Michigan and a lot of other top 5s, top 10s. So looking back on this year, what do you take from it, and what are you looking forward to in the next season?
Well, I think for the regular season, started off strong, and I was leading laps in just about every race in the regular season, contended for wins, and let a couple get away from me that were my fault, and did grab that win at Michigan. And as soon as the playoffs hit, I kind of went cold and was struggling to get top 5s. So looking forward to starting off next season strong and just keeping that momentum running through into the final 10 races and getting a spot in the championship for next year and giving AJ a run for his money.
Yeah, he's definitely the man to beat this year, but those V-Speed Camaros not too far behind pretty much all year long. So a lot of fun to see you run up towards the front here throughout the season, and ended up on the podium here in the last race. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
First and foremost, got to thank you, man, for putting these races on each and every week. You do a phenomenal job. Miss racing with you week in and week out, but if I could pick anyone to be in the broadcast booth, it'd be you. You're awesome. Everybody that sponsored the league, Nick for putting it on, making everything happen. My V-Speed teammates, shout out to AJ for running a great year. I mean, he definitely deserved that championship. Everyone else that was in the championship for, and everybody else in the league for running a great year.
Yes, sir. Definitely a lot of fun all season long, and appreciate what you said there. And looking forward to seeing if you can go out there and win this thing next year. Put V-Speed on top, maybe. But a lot of fun, Ryan, and congrats on the third place finish here, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yep. Thank you, man.
All right, Ryan Gemmel, third place finisher. And we're going to go to second place now. His teammate, Seth Hatchell, it was a 2-3-4 V-Speed finish in tonight's race with Samard in the fourth position. But Seth Hatchell had him in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, Seth, you were right up there till the bitter end, fighting for this thing with Stravato. It was you two all race long. You started sixth. You took the lead pretty early on in this thing and really held on to it for a good portion of the race. And 15 laps to go, AJ right on your tail. Was there anything you could have done to hold him off, or were you pretty much out of steam at that point?
Yeah, I was definitely at a disadvantage on tires there. You know, the run before, he was behind on tires. I think there's a good number of us that had, I don't know, maybe 4 laps, 5 laps or so up on him on tires, and I had to pass a couple of guys to get to him. And I got to his back bumper, but then the dirty air, I just sort of stalled out there. So we got to that last round of pit stops, and I tried to undercut him. I think I beat him by a lap. I think he came in a lap after me. And then after that, I was just pushing as hard as I could for a couple of laps just to see if I could get a decent gap. But he was definitely pretty quick, and of course he got to me pretty quick there after he pitted. And I probably could have been a bit more patient. I was pushing the car pretty hard, trying to stay on the outside, and I let him get by on the inside, so I wasn't real happy with myself about that. But nonetheless, I was pretty happy with the speed we had. I hadn't done any practice. I was doing other stuff the last couple of nights. So to come in and be this quick, I was pretty shocked off the start.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good run for you here. You know, you performed like this a lot this season. You'd managed the car well, be in the fight until the very end, and you captured a couple wins there in the second round of the playoffs. But you know, very consistent throughout the year. You had a shot at the regular season championship as well. So, you know, looking back on this year and moving forward into the next year, what are your thoughts on your performance overall this season, and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the way I ran. But as always, I want to come back next year and do a lot better. So I got a lot of stuff planned to do a lot of practice and, you know, really bring my A game next year and take it to AJ. Congrats to AJ, by the way, for winning the championship. He did a great job this year. But it was a little bit of a humbling experience this year. I thought I'd get a couple more than just 2 wins, but that's just how racing goes. I got to come back next year and be even quicker.
Yeah, and I think, you know, part of it is the package, the way it races now. And I know the way that you race, you're very smooth, don't make a lot of mistakes, but with these cars you almost have to overdrive them, and it's a whole different shift in mentality. And I think you know, you really did pick up on it here a lot over the last half of this season. Really, you know, you were a contender each and every week, and I think it was scary for some of these other guys to see you kind of take that leap. But ultimately, just a little bit short here tonight, and you know, I am excited to see you come back next year. Maybe a little chip on your shoulder and go out there and maybe win a few more of these things. But second place, 48 laps led, nice number there, and gonna end the season on a pretty high note. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, I got to thank you, Adam, for doing all the broadcasts and all the social stuff for this league. It really elevates this league to a whole nother level. Got to thank Nick and all the admins for putting on good work here. All the sponsors. I apologize, I don't know the sponsor of the race tonight, but everybody for jumping on board. I know we got plenty of good sponsors for next year too. All the drivers, again, congrats to AJ on winning the championship, and you know, the other 3 guys for, I believe, having decent races, and got to thank my team V-Speed.
Awesome, Seth. Well, congrats again on second place, and I will catch up with you and the rest of the team here soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that is Seth Hatchell, second place finisher for Team V-Speed, and he'll end up, I think, around 5th in points tonight or this season. But your winner of the race and the championship, we're bringing him up. We made him wait a little bit longer than I'm sure he even wanted to, but AJ Stravato, Adam in the V-Speed booth, you got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, AJ, you did it. 9 wins this year. You had the All-Star win. You dominated this race, and like so many times this year, the car to beat, and you just drove away at the end. Nobody could touch you. How'd you get it done here tonight? And we saw you fade a little at the start, but ultimately you found your way to the front.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I gotta thank my teammates, Jeremiah, Josiah, Eric, and the Sulfurage brothers. Man, I had a lot of fun this season, and hopefully, they made me better, and hopefully, I did the same for them. But yeah, at the beginning, I was racing the 44 very, very, very hard, and it definitely burnt up my stuff a little bit. This tire model is definitely very sensitive on just battling at the beginning, so I was just biding my time, just trying to save as much as I could. Once I got by him, we were able to get by a couple cars, and just, I think the big thing was execute on pit road and, our entrances and exits. And we closed. I think Seth, he was a second and a half in front of us when he came in, and somehow we beat him out. I know I got in really aggressively, and I think that's a strong suit of mine is, exiting and entering the pits. And I think that was the difference this race. But I got to give a shout out to Seth as well, man. He made me work my tail off that entire, race. I think the back half of it, and Josiah had a lot of pace too, especially towards the beginning of the race when I burnt my stuff up. I was looking on the relative, and he was closing quick. So all in all, really, really insane. Obviously win 9 races and do it the way we did this season. I don't think I could ever imagine that going into this season, but it's just a testament to being patient and working hard over the year.
Sorry, I think I went muted there for a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, definitely incredible performance all season long. We were looking at the stats coming into tonight's race. I think it was 14 top 5s, and every top 10 you had was a top 5, and a lot of those were the podium. I think, I probably talked to you almost every week that we did a broadcast. So, what is it taking to get to have a performance so consistent like that all season long? Where you're always in contention for the win.
I think, just throughout my, iRacing career and sim racing career, and even, racing a little bit in real life for the couple years I have so far, it's just about getting track time, learning as much as you possibly can and just figuring out what works for you. I don't know what it was, but something this year, at the beginning of the year, I think I figured out something and, ran, couple other leagues with some really, really, really quick guys. I want to give a shout out to Connor Horn. I know he does a couple races with me a year, throughout different leagues. He really helped me, I think, get better just watching what he does. And, I think once I caught up to his pace and, he's a Coke driver, I think in my mind, he's going to be up there, I think next season in Road to Pro, but just running with some really quick guys and just figuring out what worked for me and what doesn't. And, it took a couple years and a lot of, winless seasons, choking away races. It just takes time and effort. And, for it to really pay off, this season, I like I said, I could not have imagined going into this season, not dominating. I won't say that, but, running really well this season and, running with some guys that, make you better on your team as well. That helps a lot.
Yeah, and definitely does take the competition to kind of elevate your game to the next level. I've noticed that myself, and people like Seth, they'll push you. I mean, they'll be right on your tail all race long, and it's hard to outrun some of these guys sometimes. But man, you did it 9 times this year. Some of them you won them in all different kinds of fashion. Some of them like almost a lucky way to win it, but some of these you dominated from start to finish. There was the one race there were only like 3 laps you didn't lead at Richmond, right, 2 weeks ago. So, man, yeah. Absolutely incredible performance all year long. You're the champion for 2020. And if there's anything you can take from this year and look forward to in next year, how would you look back on this and see how you can keep this momentum for next year?
I just got to keep doing what we've been doing. I think the entire race and season, I think, like I said, I figured out something that just works for me, and I just got to stick with it. I think that's the main thing, and just my main thing is also, helping my teammates. I really hope, I hope Josiah, Jeremiah, Eric, and the Sulfridge is out. That was, I think a goal of mine going into this season, just be the best teammate I could. Time to time, I can lose my temper a little bit, but I think we overall accomplished a lot this season. Want to keep doing it next season. Obviously, everybody loves winning, and it's been a long time coming to get to this point. So obviously want to keep on building off of this, but also want to give a couple shout outs. My sponsors, Grublets on Ice, TI Racing, Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours, all these guys. Like I said, I could not imagine I'd be saying that, not only that, but being sponsored and just running on some, high quality leagues and picking off win after win. But it's pretty humbling, and I can't thank, like I said, a lot of people enough. It means a lot, and obviously you've done a hell of a job all year broadcasting. These races have been really fun to watch, and you do a great job. So I also appreciate you, Adam, for putting on these broadcasts and doing a great job.
I appreciate that, and you put on some fantastic shows and races for us to broadcast here, so I appreciate you doing what you do, and looking forward to a lot more next year. But champion here tonight, you've already kind of given your shout-outs. You always beat me to the question. But congrats on the championship, man. Enjoy that chunk of cash you get for that, and
oh yeah,
go celebrate with your team and have a great night, and we'll catch you at the start of next year.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you again. I appreciate you.
All right, that is AJ Stravato, champion here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. What a racer, what a driver, and he put on a show all season long for us, so congrats to him. But let's go to the rest of our results. We'll talk about where these guys end up somewhat in the points here, at least among the top four, and we'll head on out for the night and for the end of this season. So 3 cautions in tonight's race. We had a very long green flag run to end this thing out, and AJ Stravato ends up on top. 10 total lead changes. We did have some switching back and forth, especially through pit strategy and things like that. So very interesting to see how things worked out. But Stravato, he gets by Hatchell in the very end, and he hangs on to win this race like he did 8 other times, plus the All-Star race, so 9 other times this season in this series. And what a drive for the championship. Seth Hatchell finishes in second here. Great run from him as well, leading almost 50 laps. His teammate Ryan Gemmel going to finish third position, and right behind them, their teammate Chris Samard charging all the way up from 20th. He finishes in the 4th position. Eric Gallion, very strong way to end the year. He winds up 5th, I believe his second top 5 in the last 3 races. Dallas Sullivan ends up in the 6th position, charges up from 21st. Also fantastic way for him to end it all. Josiah Vincent finishes 7th. Very good run from him, but not quite enough to win the championship. Jeremiah Vincent finishes 8th. He'll finish 3rd in points. Michael Newman ends up 9th here tonight. And Brandon Vasquez, very strong run. He finishes in the 10th position after starting on the pole in tonight's race. 11th position, Cody Atkins. 12th position, Jordan Shepler. 13th, Nick Starling. He'll end up 4th in points. Dennis Steele finishes 14th. Mark Emerson finishes in the 15th position. Justin Carey finishes 16th. Timothy Emanuele finishes 17th. 18th, Joey Mines. 19th was Lane Sulfridge. And rounding out the top 20, Eric Hutton, after a little bit of an issue late in the race here. 21st, Kyle Payne. 22nd was Lyle Sulfridge. 23rd, Safe Ferris. 24th, Alan Dice. 25th, Thomas Brendel. And rounding out the field here, an early exit tonight, Zach Smith in 26th position. But want to thank everyone for coming on board this season and watching and enjoying the races. Hope you guys enjoyed this final broadcast of the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series this season. AJ Stravato winning the championship. And if you enjoyed the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing right here on Twitch. You can also check us out on all of these different social media outlets. A lot of news and action and stuff going on all of those platforms. You can keep up with us week to week and see what we're doing. We should be broadcasting a bit, so follow and hit the notification icon right here on Twitch if you want to stay updated for when we go live. Also check out race replays over on YouTube and other interesting content on our second channel, V-Speed Garage, which is going to be featuring a lot more real-world content, real world car and automotive content, hopefully in the coming months here. And you can check us out at vspeedsim.com if you're interested in any sim racing services, including broadcasting, design, and much, much more. Check us out over there. And let's see who we can jump in with in tonight's race, or after tonight's race. Let's go to Mr. David Schildhouse, big friend of the channel here, and go enjoy his content. Great guy, great personality. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And we will be back here in January with Below the Double Yellow Cup Series once again. Thank you, and have a great night.